destroyer, he said, and a destroyer he was.
Oscar de la Hoya, a name that once echoed through every boxing ring. The Golden Boy, a champion in the spotlight and a man fighting battles behind the scenes. Welcome to Iron Arena, where we uncover the true stories behind combat sports legends. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because what you're about to hear isn't just about boxing. Born on February 4, 1973, in East Los Angeles, Oscar de la Hoya grew up in a working-class Mexican-American family that breathed boxing. His father had been a professional fighter in the 60s. His grandfather, too. Fighting was in the blood. But Oscar was different. He had dreams bigger than the neighborhood, a vision that went beyond the ring. The turning point came when his mother, Cecilia, was diagnosed with cancer. She passed away when Oscar was only 15. But before she left, she made him promise her one thing: to win Olympic gold. That promise didn't just motivate Oscar, it consumed him. He trained with obsession, with fury, and with grief. At 19, he stepped into the ring at the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. When the final bell rang, the gold was his, and so was the world's attention. The Golden Boy was born. Oscar's transition to the professional world was explosive. He debuted later in 1992 and wasted no time carving his path to greatness. With every fight, he climbed weight classes, destroying opponents with precision, speed, and a rare sense of showmanship. By 1995, he was already a world champion, and he kept going, winning titles in 6 different weight divisions, something only a few boxers in history can claim. From legendary fights with Julio Cesar Chavez to his war with Fernando Vargas, Oscar didn't just win, he dominated. His rivalry with Felix Trinidad ended in a controversial loss that haunted him for years. But the numbers didn't lie. He was a pay-per-view king, a household name. At his peak, he wasn't just the most successful fighter in the ring, he was also the most marketable. He combined Mexican heart with American charisma. He could sell a fight and back it up. But the pressure of being boxing's poster child started to crack the mirror. As the 2000s began, so did Oscar's decline. He lost a close fight to Shane Mosley in 2000. Then again, in 2003, the mystique of invincibility was fading. When he stepped into the ring against Bernard Hopkins in 2004, the result was brutal: a knockout to the body and a blow to his pride. Yet the biggest hit came in 2007. Facing the undefeated Floyd Mayweather Jr., Oscar fought hard but lost by split decision. That night drew millions of viewers, but for Oscar, it was the beginning of the end. He would fight one more time against Manny Pacquiao and lose decisively. The Golden Boy had lost his shine. But even worse, he didn't know who he was without it. Retirement was calling. But peace? That was nowhere in sight. What the cameras didn't show was Oscar's deep struggle with mental health. Depression consumed him. Anxiety chased him. The fame that once lifted him was now suffocating him. In interviews, he spoke of dark thoughts, of drinking alone, of not recognizing the man in the mirror. The pressure to be perfect, the icon, the clean-cut hero, the family man had taken its toll. Oscar entered rehab. More than once. He admitted to suicidal thoughts. He was a broken man carrying the weight of public expectations and private failures. And still, the spotlight never dimmed. If anything, it magnified every flaw.
And the only communication with me and my mother was the fucking belt. Like, you do something wrong and this fucking belt is going up your ass, you know? That's the only communication I had. So in order for me to succeed at something, to prove to them, to show them that I can be somebody, I found boxing. I found my outlet.
I can express myself and not be afraid of what people think, you know? Why? Because I'm speaking the truth. I know who I am now, and I like this person. I always felt like the football player in that pile, you know, of 30 players, you know, and not being able to get up, you know. I always felt like that, you know, like losing air and not able to breathe. And
in 2007, photos leaked of Oscar wearing women's lingerie and fishnet stockings. At first, he denied it, claimed they were faked. But the internet exploded. Minis, jokes, headlines the Golden Boy had become a punchline. Years later, he admitted they were real. But more than the scandal, those photos revealed something deeper, the identity crisis of a man who had spent his entire life performing. In the ring, on TV, at home. The fishnets weren't just a mistake. They were a symptom of confusion, of rebellion, of the need to escape the character he had become. Oscar's relationship with drugs and alcohol was long and destructive. He drank heavily, used cocaine, cheated on his wife. He spiraled in ways the public couldn't imagine. In rehab, he faced himself, told the truth, admitted he had been living a lie for years. He wasn't just running from the past, he was running from who he was. But he also fought to come back, not as a boxer, but as a person, as a father, as a man. The journey wasn't smooth, but it was real. Oscar's personal life was as chaotic as his public image. Multiple relationships, a few high-profile breakups, paternity lawsuits, a marriage to Puerto Rican singer Millie Correcha that crumbled under pressure. He fathered children with different women and struggled to maintain consistency as a father. He later admitted he was never taught how to be emotionally present. Fame had introduced him to everyone but intimacy. That was something he had to learn from scratch.
Did you tell your wife about your wrongdoing?
well, when you're a public person, a public figure, people are gonna know. And unfortunately, she found out through the media. You know, then I have to come and confess to her the things I did. You know, to have a clear conscience. Okay, you know, this is what happened. You know, which was difficult, which was tough. You know, I mean, breaking their heart again. It's tough. It's difficult. I hate myself for it. You know, putting her through all that stuff.
Oscar de la Hoya's legacy isn't just about the belts on the wall or the money in the bank. It's about survival, redemption, and the courage to face your demons when the world still expects you to smile. He fell, publicly, painfully, but he didn't stay down. His story is a reminder that strength isn't just measured in punches, it's in confession, in healing, in starting over. If this hit you harder than any uppercut, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Iron Arena.
We do Mayweather-McGregor, and he starts telling people, do not buy this fight. This fight is a disgrace to boxing, blah, blah. But I'll fight Conor McGregor. Right. And then he comes back and says, I want to patch things up with Dana. We will never be friends. I respect him as a fighter.
Right.
I'm going to watch his documentary. And, but yeah, personally,
Because here, we go beyond the gloves and bring you the stories that leave a mark.